Welcome everyone to our Lift Your Story Unite podcast. Sorry about that. Today we have Aaron Kuno with us. We have Maggie Perotin, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. And of course, my partner, LaurieAnn Campbell.
Perfect. So we're just going to start this with, we're going to just, do our usual thing. We're going to introduce ourselves. And as we like to do is just let us know what's new. And we'll start with Aaron because he's on the right side of me, whichever way, that way.
Hello, my name is Aaron Kono. I've been talking to Laurie for quite some time here. One new thing about me, which I kind of giggled about when we were just talking earlier today, is that 3-4 weeks ago, I bought my first Apple product, which is a tablet. And the only reason I bought, or an iPad, sorry, I got to use the technical term for Apple. And the only reason I bought an iPad was for Clubhouse. So I watch Clubhouse here and there. I'm not as addicted. Because some people say, when I listen to it in the morning, some people say, oh, I've been on it for 20 hours, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, there's 24 hours in a day. How the hell are you really on it for 20, I don't, do you not shower? I know it takes less than 4 hours to shower, but yeah, so I'm normally listening to that in the morning, and that's pretty much it, really. And then, yeah, go from there pretty much.
Just a quick question. What do you listen to? Sorry about that. What do you listen to the most? Like, what's your main focus on the Clubhouse?
Not really 100% what I listen to the most because I don't know exactly how it works 100%. There's like one of two groups I normally go into, something that's called Breakfast of Champions or something. But then I also go into small groups as well. I've learned that I get more followers when I go into small groups than when I'm with groups that are over 500 people. Another thing that I think is very interesting about Clubhouse is I was listening to one randomly, and before he popped in, I was on it, so I'd seen it when he wasn't in there. Grant Cardone, he was not in the group, but then he popped in the group. I don't know if he just woke up or what. He just went in the group, and then of course they put him as a little, whatever the technical term is, little talker, sponsor person, whatever the term is up there, and it was really funny because they were like, oh, Grant Cardone just came in. Oh, Grant Cardone, let's talk to blah, 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 blah. And then when they gave him the mic, it just sounded like he did not want to talk. He didn't say much at all. His tone of voice was very low. It just sounded like he wanted to be in the group, but didn't want to talk, but everyone else wanted him to talk. I just thought that was really interesting when I seen that. Other than that, a lot of times people are in the groups and they're not really in the groups, even though they're signed into the groups. People say, oh, what's going on with blah, 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 and they don't say anything. And then a lot of groups say, oh, well, that's their profession. I guess they're in some professional meeting right now or on a phone call, or they pull something out of there. Yeah. Who knows what they're doing? It might be a marketing thing to get more followers. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
Sounds like somebody's just trying to get their ticket punched. Oh, Grant Cardone was here. Oh, Grant Cardone was there. Hey,
yeah, it could be. I'm not really 100%. If Grant Cardone hears this, then you can give me a call if you want, dude. Go for it. I would love to talk, but
yeah.
but I'll see where it goes. I just pretty much.
You're right, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It didn't really cost me much because I had $300 in rewards, or $320 with my credit card rewards. So it only cost me an $80 more for it. And I only plan on using it for that. So it's going to be in really good condition. I got a case for it, a protective case, so I don't drop it. So if I really want to, I can sell it at some point. And because they say Apple's such an amazing product, I might be able to make some money on it. So we'll play it by ear.
They do hold their value. They do.
Apple products are good. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion, anyway.
Definitely hold their product. So what I was going to say, though, in is in regards to Grant Cardone in defense. You know, I would imagine, I mean, I'm not even popular, and there's some days I just don't want to talk to people. I can't imagine being popular and everybody expecting, you know, that person, you might just want to be there to say, hey, you know, yes, I showed up. I'm, you know, I'm a sponsor, but really I'm not up to speaking today. So I can imagine that takes a toll on you when you're always out there and everybody wants to talk to you. But I know that some people say, well, that's what you got into, but you know, gotta sometimes give them a little bit of
Probably the same concept as if you see them in the public, you know, like, oh, okay, let's get a picture with you. How's it going? And it's their life. That's how it goes. The more popular you get, the more it's going to be like that.
Yeah, if you're a celebrity, you got to expect people are going to come up to you. They're going to want your autograph. They're going to want to take a selfie. You know, you're not going to be able to sit down and have dinner without somebody coming up to you. Oh, hey, you're Mr. Smith. Oh, can I take a selfie? Hey, can you meet my daughter? You know, that's just part of the price you pay for the fame.
Yeah. So, and Maggie, what about you?
What about me? I'm not on the club, so I'm learning, which is great because, you know, it's great to learn, but I just know that it's sort of this talk platform and then talks your life. So my name is Maggie, and I'm a business and leadership coach, and new things in my life, you know. With COVID, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, there's not much going on. Like every week is similar. But my daughter is turning 9 next week. So that will be her second birthday in COVID, I guess. But, you know, it is what it is. She's still very excited. So we're kind of planning a little mini, not really like a birthday party with friends and so on, but just some small family for her.
That's nice. Well, wish her a happy birthday from us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the kids are really getting robbed through this COVID stuff. But think of the ones last year that were seniors graduating, either from high school or college. No prom, no this, no that, no this.
Yeah.
And they worked their whole
That's tough.
School to get to be a senior, to have all the accolades and the stuff for being a senior. And well, we'll mail you a diploma, you know. Oh, no football banquet, no prom, no this, no that, you know, that's bad.
Yeah, I can imagine how tough it must be. Like proms are so fun. They're so much fun. And there you gather with your friends, you dance. I remember, you know, even our mine, which was a long time ago, and even like back in Poland, it was so much fun. We had so much fun. So not having that, it's kind of, it is basically, it's like.
Yeah.
I didn't go to my prom, but that was partly because, you know, I moved halfway through the year. So I was only at that high school for a half a year, and everyone was bugging me to go. And I thought, like, who am I going to go with? What am I going to do? All my girlfriends had boyfriends, and I'm thinking, nah, I'm just not going to go. I did like my university graduation. I had a heck of a lot of good time at that one. So that was the bonus. Like, made up for it, let me tell you. So, Roy, what about you?
I'm from Dallas, Texas. The thing for me is Laurie and I just got our 1,500 downloads of our podcast. We were just notified.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was pretty awesome, I thought.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Downloads. Yeah.
And we're end of February, we have 88 episodes. Not bad for having been around. And this month is our anniversary. So we want to thank everybody that's been on our show, that really seriously, you guys made it for us to be there. So, and we're getting busier and busier, which is fun.
Yeah. We've met so many interesting people. It's crazy. And, you know, we always, a lot of times we'll start out, I'm going to use you for example, Maggie. So you're a business coach. So we'll start talking about that. Then we'll find out something else and go in a totally different direction, because that other story is a lot of times is more interesting, and it's something that's not your everyday, you know, your business, you know, and it's just, it's amazing some of the stuff we've found out about people, you know. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congrats, right?
I do have to bring this up, and I know I brought it up on a couple of episodes, but one of the ones I found the most fascinating was Candy Lee, this like very sweet looking lady, and she says, you know, I've been struggling with some pain from
Sports injury.
yeah, sports injury. And so we kind of said, well, what sports? She goes, well, I was roller skating. I thought, okay. But no, then we found out she was in a roller derby. I would have never
Wow.
imagined her
Yeah.
in a roller derby. So I saw some pictures of her and it was so neat to find that out. It's just, you know, not something you hear every day. And particularly like you would have never thought it. But then you look at some of the ladies in the roller derby, they're just, you know, some of them are pretty darn gorgeous, and you would never think, you know, not to say that yet, but you know, you always think that they're going to be like,
Yeah.
you know, tough,
Yeah.
big muscles, and
Yeah, she was petite, very pretty. Yeah.
really off.
And
Yeah.
you know, one of the ladies we did was her name Doris?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the first ones, and she was a cancer survivor, and she was stuck over in
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Yeah, she went to visit her family, then COVID broke out, so she couldn't come back home, and she'd been there like what 5 or 6 months, wasn't it, Laurie,
Yeah.
or maybe longer. And you know, but she's really interesting. I mean, so interesting to talk to. And then we found out probably what 8 or 9 months later that she had passed away.
Actually, it wasn't that long, Roy, because we had her on. I don't believe she was in Ecuador when we had her on. She was our very first one.
Yeah.
So March, so it would have been about 4 months. She passed away in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was pretty sad to hear
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
But she was our very first one. I went back to look because I did that video and I wanted to find out our first one and our last one. And I thought, oh my goodness, she was the first one. Yeah, she was just lovely. That was very sad to
Yeah.
hear about that. And you know, she fought cancer and she was a survivor, and then COVID got her.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
And who knows, right? I don't know what kind of health, what the health facilities are like in Ecuador. I don't know how advanced they are or not, but anyway, that was sad, but we were very honored to have her on for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then as far as me goes, I'm LaurieAnn from Milton, Ontario, Canada. And my good news is, well, for one, my dog is getting better. Last night gave me a scare. But in business-wise, I'm pretty excited because I started another podcast. And I kind of chuckle because I only had it on for 3 days and I had 10 downloads. So it was like baby steps.
That's
And for the
awesome.
podcasters out there, you know, we were talking about that because Roy and I, we don't really look at the numbers because we just love what we do. When it does come up, it's fun,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're going after. And I just want to put a shout out there because there is Podfest on right now. And if anyone out there is planning on doing a podcast where it's solo or with somebody, really worthwhile. They had their pre-launch last week and great information. Even if you're not a podcaster or you want to be a guest, because there's so much in there for marketing, just that would, you know, expand onto any kind of business.
Mhm.
Great speakers. You get to pick, and they're only 30 minutes each, the sessions, which is absolutely fantastic because I love that. So if you really don't feel engaged with the speaker, you know, you're only missing out on a half hour. You're not sitting there for the whole day waiting, or an hour and a half listening to a presenter. So, and I'll put a post of the link. I have it. I believe I put it on anyway, but I'll post it again here. And there you can. It's $49 to get in usually, but it's free with the Lift 20 code. And for the Clubhousers, it's C-Lift. And just get in there. I highly recommend it. And it starts on Monday, 5 days straight, right through. Some of them go late because they're international, and really worthwhile. Just monetizing everything from even marketing, voice. And sometimes our voices are even good to know when you're trying to talk to somebody because we're doing Zoom all the time. So it's not even just for podcasters. So anyway, I just wanted to put that in. I'm really impressed with it. I just love it. And also, if you go in and they get to the 10,000, see, I don't get anything from this, but what I will get from it, if we get 10,000 in there, I will be part of the Guinness Book of World Records, and so will anybody else that's been there.
Nice.
I know. And you get to send away for a plaque, and you can put it up on your wall. So yeah,
That's awesome.
kind of fun. So yeah, so my second podcast I'm looking forward to, it's called Bleak Bulimia, of course, because being a bulimia recovery coach, but it's going to be light. And oh, I'm going to call. And if there's anybody that's listening here, I am looking for guests. And no, you don't have to have anything to do with bulimia. I'm just on my website that I'll have a link to as well. There are some topics. I just want people who can talk about like OCD or aging or going through, and I know because it's mostly women, the menopause, change of body shape, mindset. Those are the things I'm looking for. So for speakers, for guests. So there's my little spiel. Sales.
Well, you know what? Like there was a bunch of ladies in my group, LaurieAnn, with like, you know, health coaches, nutritionists, and kind of typical mindset coaches. I can connect you with them.
That'd
Like
be beautiful.
on Thursdays, I have posts about collaboration. So this past Thursday, there was actually a lot of posts of people looking for guests for Facebook Lives and podcasts. And whenever I go in there and I see a post like that, and I know that, you know, who would be a great guest, I would tag them. So it was, yeah, so just let me know, and then on Thursday,
And Maggie, why don't you just note if, you know, if anybody's interested in joining your group?
Oh, yes. So it's for women entrepreneurs, and it's called Women Entrepreneurs with Passion for Life. So that's the group. It's a great group. There's a lot of fantastic ladies, very engaged.
It is very engaged. It's yeah, I've really enjoyed being on it. Lots of good information. And then I want to ask the guys, so when are you guys going to start the podcast, Entrepreneur for Men? Entrepreneurship for Men or Men Entrepreneurs? I haven't seen one yet. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in because I'm an equalist, right? I just kind of feel bad. Remember when I was at the chamber, I think the women thought I was a woman hater because we had 2 women's groups and the guys wanted to come in to see the speakers because they were interesting, right? And I had to fight for the allowance of having them come in because it would be sort of, what is it called? It's discrimination if you don't let them into, even if it's just to watch a speaker that they're interested in. But I know it's understandable that there's certain groups, you know, because women tend to be a little bit intimidated, some of them, or first coming out, I get that. But if there's a speaker they wanted to see, I just felt. So anyway, and then I sort of moved the other women's group out because I thought 2 women's groups and we're not allowed to have men's groups. I'm sorry. I would have thought I was anti-woman. I wasn't. I'm just an equalist. I think that if that's the case, then get the guys to have a little group of themselves and chat about, you know, the things they like to chat about. Football, sports, music, whatever. Whatever they talk about. Business. Yeah. So there's my spiel.
Hey, Aaron, how are you doing with cash flow? How's that going for you?
Going good. I'm learning stuff from like Clubhouse and whatnot, and I'm just pretty much going day by day, you know, like how everyone else is. I know there was one thing that I heard on Clubhouse like a week or 2 ago, where like they were talking about people talking, because it was early in the morning. It was like 5:30 in the morning Central Time, so people were all like, I just woke up, I can't talk. Sorry if I sound like crap, you know, because people were just waking up, you know, and I could hear it. And someone mentioned in there, what they do is before they go on a speech, or whether it's a podcast or whether it's a live speech or whatever, they eat potato chips because of the salt goes down like the throat or something, and that like it's better, it works better than just drinking water, they said, you know, because of the salt. That's what they mentioned. How many potato chips? Do they do a whole family bag, you know, crush it up and down it, you know? I have no clue. You know, or a little fun size. I don't know how many potato chips. She didn't say how many calories to intake. But yeah, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You know, the interesting part about it is that a lot of the people were and had no clue that was true, you know. So that was an interesting thing I heard on Clubhouse, you know. But
Oh, it's funny because that's something I definitely not advise my clients to do, to go on their phone right after they wake up. I actually coach them to take breaks because it actually creates a lot of stress and unnecessarily overwhelm when the first thing you do is watch your phone. So I always say, no, you need a break. Like when you wake up, you actually, like, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, start with 3 if you can, but don't look at your phone. Ground yourself first, like take a glass of water, I don't know, breathe, like do things, don't look at your phone. But with Aaron, you were saying like people barely rolled out of bed and they're already going in. That's definitely, I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing.
I mean, I really think there are people that have their phones sitting on their nightstand, and they'll reach over and get it and look at it before they ever get out of bed. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think it leaves their hand. They may get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and look at their phone before they get back in
Yeah,
bed.
it's not
I mean,
healthy. Like it's not right for you.
I keep mine in the living room. I mean, I don't if it dings or rings or whatever, I don't hear it. But my kids always give me a hard time about, Dad, you're always looking at your phone. But I'm thinking, well, I'm not that bad. Or I don't think I am, but maybe I am. But I don't have it in the bedroom. I can tell you that.
I do, but I have it on silent. I can imagine some people in the middle of the night when they hear a bleep, they'll look at it. But no, I have it. I go to bed, it's silent. You call, anything, unless my alarm clock goes, I don't hear it. I don't care.
Well, sometimes it'll be late and I'll say, I'm going to send so and so a text. That way, when they get up, they'll see it. And next thing you know, hey, what's going on? Did you text me? I'm like, well, yeah, but I just figured you'd see it in the morning. Well, I heard my phone ding, so I'm like, won't ever do that again. Sorry.
I know, and you feel bad because you think you woke them up and you're going, but you're supposed to have your phone on silent so that I can send you
Yeah.
something and you get it the next morning. Whoops.
Yeah, I know I have mine. I used to have to put mine on silent with my actually every single night before I could program it to be on silent from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. I have my everything completely on silent. All all notifications, phone calls, texts. The only thing that's on is my alarm clock, so I can actually get up in the morning. And like Roy said, I'm not as crazy as Roy. I don't have it out of my bedroom. I do have it on the other side of my bed. I'm on the other side of my bedroom, so I need to get off of my bed for when my alarm goes off. Because I know when I grew up way back in the day before cell phones, when we would have alarm clocks, I just hit snooze, hit snooze, hit snooze, and for some reason my hand would just go on the side and turn it off, and I go right back to bed, and then like Roy said, also with holding it when you're laying down in bed, there was times when my phone was smaller, which is a good thing, or else I'd probably have a big humongous mark on my face, but I'd be holding it laying down above my head, doing whatever I'm doing, playing Snake or whatever I was doing back then. And because I dozed off, my muscle would drop the phone onto my head, So yeah, I don't use my phone in bed laying down at all. It's away from my bed. People who do that's crazy. And just like with what Maggie said, I do look at my phone because I need to turn off my alarm clock, but I don't go on any kind of social media or anything like that until I get ready, until I take a shower and make breakfast and stuff, and then I'll pop on my tablet and stuff. But some people are crazy about it. Instantly they wake up, they look it up. They hear a ding in the middle of the night. You guys don't need to hear a ding in the middle of the night, man. Turn it off. Turn the volume off. Program it to not do it because it's disturbing your sleep, man.
Well,
And the blue light too, they say the light, because it quite often opens up and that disturbs your sleep too.
Yeah, but so like me, we don't have a TV in our bedroom. Everybody's, what? If I'm going to bed, I'm going to sleep. I'm not gonna go watch TV. And I can remember the AT&T guy came out and he said, we're having a problem with our cable. He goes, okay, well, where are all your TVs located? I said, right here. He goes, no, I mean your other TVs. We don't have any. He goes, you only have one TV? Yeah. Really? Yeah, really. We watch TV in here. We sleep back there. Don't
Yeah,
do
but
both at the same time.
it's the same with us. Like we don't have TV in our bedroom. Our kids don't have TV in their bedrooms either. We have two because we upgraded. We had like a smaller 32-inch one for ages in the TV room. And then one day, like for Christmas or no Boxing Day, I think it was not this year, the year before, like, oh, okay, well, it's time, it's time to upgrade TV. It's old. So we bought a larger one, a bit, not that much, but a bit larger and newer one, and brought the other one to the basement.
Well,
So, if we're a blended family, so, sometimes there's 6 of us in the house. So when we have, when we want to watch, and then maybe older boys want to watch something else, or the younger kids want to watch something else, so sometimes we can just split and say, okay, you guys go to the basement, we stay here, and we have a movie night. And that's it as well.
it's funny you mentioned kids, because our boys, they both had computers, they both had TVs, they both had internet. I guess that's tough. Anyway, they had everything in the room, stereo. So my youngest son, one time after he had grown up, said, Dad, you didn't punish us. You told us to go to our rooms. We had cable, we had stereo, we had computer, we had TV, we had internet, we had cable. How much punishment was that? I was thinking, you got a good point there. But
We're actually rewarding them. Go take
yeah.
some time to yourself.
I said, yeah, y'all were a couple of spoiled brats, what you were. But anyway.
I'm guilty though. I have a TV in my room. And then the neat thing is now with Miracast, you can just, you got your phone, you go on Prime, you go cool, cast it.
Yeah, no, it's the TV. The thing is that the screen, and it's scientifically proven, it actually, like in a way, I don't know, I'm missing the English word here, but it wakes you up. So that's why it's very hard to fall asleep. Like, yeah, I know that people fall asleep with TV, but like, how long does it last, right? Like, they're almost exhausted and then they fall asleep. But if you wanted to go to sleep naturally and you watch TV right after when you want to go to sleep, it will take you much longer to actually kind of relax, calm down, and fall asleep. So again, one of the things I tell my clients, like, try at least 30 minutes before you go to sleep. Turn off, don't look at the screen. Go to bed, I don't know, read, have a conversation with your spouse, do something else, whatever. Don't look at the screen, and then you'll be able to, not have that issue of falling asleep and.
Well, I know for me, if like you say, if I about 30 minutes before I go to bed, if I kind of just put my phone down, turn the TV off, just kind of sit and just kind of think. And because otherwise I'm so stimulated when I go to bed.
Yeah.
I can't go to sleep. I mean, I may be sleepy, but I get in bed and I'm with eyes wide open.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're stimulated. That's the word I was missing.
Yeah, and I cannot lay in bed. When I wake up, I'm out of bed. You talking about hitting the snooze? I've never hit the snooze. My wife, that poor snooze button has been mashed so many times. When it goes off, the snooze button goes, please, not again, please, not again. But I don't. When I'm awake, I'm up, I'm out. It's like Aaron, I'm up, taking a shower, boom. There's no laying down. I can't do it.
I function better through the day. If I get up right away without the snooze button, I function better than if I do the snooze button. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Roy. I do have a alarm clock, and I do use my phone for it, but I don't snooze. It rings, I silence it, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't. But it's been always like that, like since I was like. Yeah.
I've always been that way. My oldest son's just like me. My youngest son's just like my wife. I mean, they are. I mean, just exactly. When Stephen was young, in the like elementary school age, he'd lay down on the floor watching TV in the evening, and he'd go to sleep. And when you woke him up, he was like a zombie. I mean, he was just out of it, just you know. And Chris, hey Chris, go to bed. Wake, okay, jump up and go get in bed. But my wife and my youngest son, you can land a 747 in the bedroom and they wouldn't hear it.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. Except when the kids were really young, Barbara could hear a leaf fall on the tree outside when they were
Yeah.
really young. But once they got older, nothing. I mean,
It's
nothing.
true though. That's maternal instincts that kick in when you've got babies. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
And then once they get to the point where they're self-sufficient, you go, yeah, no, I don't need that anymore.
Flip, I want that switch.
Yeah, but it's true. Like you can hear anything. They just like quiet noise, and you hear it, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Well,
last
and
night
on the other hand, the husbands are like, why are you getting up? What's going on? Baby's
Talking of-
fine.
talking about the noises last night. So our cat, we have a cat, and our cat must have heard something. I don't know. Like must have seen, I don't know, raccoons traveling through the backyard or another cat, and she freaked out like with those weird type of noises. I woke up. My daughter actually got scared. She came to our bed all like, she was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" My husband, nothing. Didn't like. I think he heard it in the distance because in the morning he's like, "Oh yeah, I heard it," but you wouldn't see. He heard.
He rolls over. He goes, "Hey Maggie, you heard a noise. Go see if it's an intruder. If it is, come back and tell me, and I'll get up."
But they're weird noises.
It's not everyone, but it's kind of fun since we just joke around about that. I've heard of some men that have been actually, they're the ones with the maternal, and the woman just like, no, I'm just sleeps right through it. It's like, oh my goodness. But yeah, fun stuff. So what else is new? Or we have any other topics to bring up? Any announcements?
You
I have a
already talked
contest
about-
in my group next week. Sorry, Roy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Did you hear what Maggie said, LaurieAnn?
No, I was just gonna say, what was that?
I was saying I'm doing a contest in my group next week. Well,
Oh.
not just me and 4 of other ladies who are my clients. We decided to do some fun contest for the week, and then there's an International Women's Day on March 8th. So sort of the week leading to that, we created like guides and things that can help women grow their businesses because, like my clients are web designers, they're copywriters, and like kind of different service-based entrepreneurs that usually cater to entrepreneurs as well, or other businesses, like many different businesses. So we created guides and so on, and we'll be giving them out. We're creating a contest, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to announce it tomorrow. And so I'm spilling the beans, actually. I haven't told anybody yet.
A little announcement. Come on out. Sign up for the contest. I love contests. I have
And it's
one-
easy. It's very easy to win all this.
Oh, I like that
It's
even better.
not much effort required.
It's fun.
Hey, Aaron, got a question for you. So, in your research and cash flow and the stuff you've studied and all, are you doing anything with cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency, what the hell are you talking about? No, just kidding. I know what cryptocurrency is.
Hey,
The most I'm doing with it is I am watching the daily and monthly chart of Bitcoin, not of all the other spiels out there. That's the most I'm doing. I'm not putting any money into it at this point in time because I said this to. There's so many messages I get from people, whether it's for cryptocurrency or Forex. I'm getting a lot for Forex right now.
yeah.
For people who want me to invest into whatever the hell company they're talking about, and I tell them straight out, and if this offends anyone, my bad. But I tell them straight out, I don't have the money to risk. And there's like, what do you mean that you don't have the money to risk? It's investing. It's investing. It's going to make you money. You're going to get a weekly cash flow. I'm like, any money, and I tell this to everyone that says anything about it. Any money you put into, whether it's investing into cryptocurrency, stocks, bonds, options, whatever, it's money that you are willing to risk. That is money that you might not get in the future. You know, and if I need that money, like the bills, I'm not going to risk it. And I know that I watched something with, who is the, oh my God, I can't think. What's the Shark Tank's name that has the basketball team?
Mark Cuban.
Yes. Mark Cuban said that he would have not, it was either Mark Cuban or Grant Cardone that said that he would not invest more than 2% of his net worth into cryptocurrency. So I'm just looking at the charts, you know.
Yeah.
I said I didn't do this publicly because I didn't want to get a big argument with people, but I said about a month and a half ago that I believe Bitcoin will be going down. I believe it will be going down to 15,000. That's my personal opinion from looking at the monthly chart. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I really don't care. So if it goes down to 15,000, you know, I might invest a little bit, you know, but it does whatever it does, and it doesn't whatever it does, or it doesn't whatever it doesn't do. But there's too many people out there who put their life and soul into it.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing ads right now for Visa, for some card that some company that partnered up with Visa. And I always see this ad on Facebook and stuff, and they say, "Oh, cryptocurrency card, metal card," and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, but the cryptocurrency was not supposed to be physical stuff, you know. It was just supposed to be like easier. You shouldn't need a card for it. But Visa's advertising it as an amazing metal cryptocurrency card that you can use.
Yeah.
So,
well, the reason I ask you is because, as you said, I mean, everything is being bombarded about this stuff. So, you know, and you know, there's always different ways to view it. You know, I honestly do think in time, it will be what kind of the system we go to. I mean, like quote cashless society. Okay, but I'm you know, I'm like you. Everything, I'm getting bombarded with that. And I just wondered, you know, if you had looked into it, or if you were involved in it, because I know you've got some background in investments and stuff. So I was just curious about your opinion.
yeah, I know back when I started back in 2017 and 2018, I did a lot more back then, but there was a lot of BS companies back then, and there are still BS companies. And I know there's a group of people right now that I talk to that are all invested with this amazing gold and silver company that you can buy all these amazing gold and silver coins, and you can buy them for $800, and they're actually worth $1,000 or whatever, you know. And I'm like, they kept telling me about it. I'm like, I don't need amazing silver coin or amazing gold coin. This one dude, he actually makes decent money with the businesses he's with. He showed this one coin that had it had a coronavirus little circle thingamabobber on it with 2001, like the year 2001 on one side and something else on the other. And he's like, this is going to be a wonderful family talky thing when you're going out to eat, or whatever they call that, you know, like if you have like a knife on the wall, you know,
Yeah.
decision,
Conversation piece.
yeah, conversation piece. This is going to be a great conversation piece for our kids. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's a freaking coin.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, well, I lost so much money with this.
Like, I'm not saying they're going to make money. I'm not saying they're going to lose money, you know, but I'm not, when it comes with precious metals as well, I'm not the biggest fan of precious metals neither, you know, but whatever. whatever happens, happens, as long as people are making money and paying their bills.
Well,
Dr.
the gold's going
Solomon,
up there.
we got to say hi to Dr. Solomon for
Yes.
coming on.
Hi, Dr.
Hi.
Dee.
Hey,
Thanks
how
for
are you?
joining us.
Sorry, my daughter called right before we started, so and I don't get to talk to her that much, so I
Oh,
was planning to be here.
it's good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yes, likewise. Thank you for having me before too. I
So
appreciate it.
what's been happening with you since we last spoke?
So I'm in the mastermind with Jack Canfield and Patty. So I'm writing another book
Okay.
Nice.
about lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
And I have a couple of ideas about what tend to get people to start taking action.
Mhm.
Like I have the idea about we call treating yourself like royalty. You know, when I told the kid, like, you know, if the president or the king come to your house, what would you serve him? Right? Why, what, you know, with respect, we have to treat ourselves with respect. And why would you serve yourself anything less than that?
Mhm.
So yeah, it seemed to get, they feel like I have one girl that all of a sudden she sat up like this, like the princess. Like she say, yeah, I'm not eating those things anymore. So yeah, why would you eat junk food? You won't serve junk foods to your important guests, right?
Yeah.
So
No pizza, no McDonald's hamburgers. No, that wouldn't be.
yeah,
wouldn't
so
be kosher.
and I can see the posture because I'm a pediatrician, right? So I saw the posture of her change like immediately. She was sitting up like, yeah, like very, very regal and like royalty. So so yeah, I feel like that will have make some more impact. So try to relay the message in a meaningful and I'm the queen of metaphor, right? So to be able to say it in such a way that they can relate to and it make the shift very quickly.
Mhm.
Very nice.
It is relatable.
So we have Maggie Pereton. She is a women's entrepreneurial coach, and Aaron is a cash flow coach. And this is Dr. Solomon, who is a pediatrician and basically a nutrition
Lifestyle expert.
yeah,
Yeah.
coach. Yeah,
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
yeah.
And give the name of your book. It's a good book. I love the fact that talking about what your mindset and your food, how it affects them. That's
Yeah, let me
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just have a quick question. Roy, have you ever checked up on our, crypto stuff that we put in there?
My book is on Amazon. Project Love. Love stand for Lifestyle Optimization, Victoriously Established. It's a very easy read book. You finish in a few hours, but I give practical. Did I send you the book, right?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I went through it. That's what I was saying. It's really interesting what you learn about it. And like
It's
you said,
very simple, and I give the practical because I'm a practical person. Because if you know that a lot of people know the theory, right? They say, oh yeah, eat right, exercise, and then nothing happened. So I feel like I'm bridging the gap between whatever the desire and the ideas to action and result.
Yeah.
So if you want to see a result, there got to be some action steps, and that's what I think my book is different from, and it's not nutrition book. LaurieAnn can tell you, it's not nutrition book.
No, that one isn't. But you also have the one Awesome.
Awesome Life. That's a Facebook group. Yeah, I just did a video the other day. Can I share with you a story? I did the live video on Facebook last week because I was so inspired by this case. I had an 80-year-old patient, a girl, that came in for well child check, and mom said, at the end, the girl had asthma, been coughing off and on and wheezing, and also start having eyesight deterioration. But at the end, mom was like, I have a question. Like, what is it? It's like, well, her grandmother, who's actually on the phone, they did the FaceTime during our visit too. that was just recently diagnosed with breast cancer. And she was tested positive for BRCA, the breast cancer gene. So my question to you is, when can we test her? And I said, well, right now we're not chopping anything off. But grandma had double mastectomy and ovaries taken out. And this little girl is 6 years, actually 6 years, not 8 years old, 6 years old. And my apology. And there's another 12 years, but that's not the point. It's like, why are we, focus on something we have? I mean, we can't do anything about it right now for it until you get to puberty. However, the epigenetics taught us, and that's why I wrote my book, because I want to educate people that the genes and the environment interaction, the gene is only 20 to 30%. But what you do today, even your taste bud change all the time. It change every 1 to 2 weeks. And there's some food you used to like later on you don't like, or vice versa. So yeah, so I said, the gene is actually only 20 to 30%. And plus, that's another in itself, right? About the gene testing and all that. But basically it's like waiting like a sitting duck for a death sentence. Can you imagine being that 6-year-old, 12 years? My mom is waiting to see whether I have cancer gene, whether I need to have things chopped off from my body. Like, that's horrible. We can send you to genetic counseling, but oh my God, I can't imagine being that little girl. I don't want to be like, why, I want to shift mom's thinking to focus on getting her well by changing her diet. She was drinking juice every day. Juice is another thing that a lot of parents think are health food, but they're full of sugar. And just like metaphor again, how actually in reality that how they make beer or wine is by adding the yeast to the fruit juice, right? That's how they make the wine, to grapes, or the beer, to the whatever the grains that they're using. And that's the fermentation process. We all have yeast in the gut and on our skin. That's why athlete food come on so easy, because we have them around. They're in our gut as well. And when we feed them, that's why I said in the book about like we making a yeast farm. So then we increase the yeast population, you remember? And then you decrease the population of the healthy bacteria, because it's like a community in there. And when the ecology is imbalanced, the bad bugs grow, the good bug die. And the good bugs are the one that protect you. If you heard about the microbiomes and how we actually full of germs, right? Now we know they actually outnumber us, and that DNA outnumber us as well. So yeah, it's like we're not sure who's the boss. That's what the scientists said. That we found all the expression of our gene of how we manifest disease or not. It's actually probably almost all of them modulated by bacteria and all these microbiomes that live with us or on us or in us. Yeah, and again, I mean, I don't want it to sound like science mumbo jumbo. I make it very simple, right? Do you agree with Laura? Yes. LaurieAnn, I make it like a 4th grade level. It's very simple. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know like your taste bud change. So what you do today can shift the future of expression of the genes or not. You can turn on good gene, turn off bad gene, and generation, when this little girl grow up to have children of her own, she will pass on a lot of good genes instead of bad genes. And that's profound, that's legacy. I said, that's legacy of love, that's legacy of health. And another thing I saw the other day, Jack Ma was like, if you have monkey in front of you and you give him banana or money, the monkey gonna choose banana, because monkey doesn't know that money can buy more bananas. For human, if you put money and health, a lot of people would choose money. But in reality, if you choose health, if you don't have health, you're not gonna continue to make money. And a lot of people in this country have debt because of health issues. That's a known thing. I don't know about Canadian, but because you have national health care in America, that's one of the biggest problem we have. When people get hit with like lung cancer or something, they end up being in tremendous amount of debt that they can't get themselves out of because the treatment is so expensive. Because we don't have.
I was just gonna say, you would almost think the other way around too. That's actually like a catch-22 because there's other people who are not well because of their financial stress. So you've got, like some of them, it's almost like it causes because of the stress of not having the money prior to being sick. Like they might be healthy, but then they get into financial stresses. And because they're so stressed out, they're just going to end up being ill. And then they're going to be even more dead.
They affect one another, mind, body, spirit. Everything has to be taken into account. Yeah. And it's about, but in any case, like, don't you agree that we cannot ignore our health? Doesn't matter how, because you will end up spending a lot of money. And I was one of them too.
I'm curious too for that 6-year-old. I mean, living thinking that you might have cancer is like living, there might be a war. I remember growing up thinking that all the time, the war is going to break out, but that would be like a war every day of your life if you don't change your mindset. And that in itself, I would imagine, causes the stress that could cause her to like her health to not be.
I think right now she didn't understand, so we're gonna have to talk to mom about, make sure that she doesn't really, say anything until she talk. I think I'm gonna have to, instead of wait, send her to geneticist sooner than later, just because I'm not sure mom gonna handle it properly.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about her psychology, the little girl, how she and mom, by the way, have family members, several of them have Alzheimer's. And again, it's more later because she's in her 30, right? And usually Alzheimer come usually in the 50 or later, but nowadays have been in people 40s too.
I heard sugar has a lot to do with Alzheimer's too.
That's part of it. And right now we don't have the treatment. The treatment that actually the drug company came up with is actually make you worse.
Great.
So prevention is better than cure.
You mentioned a while ago taste buds. That made me think of something. My mother-in-law in her mid-80s was starting to develop dementia. And when Medicare came out to do an evaluation of her, one of the things is about, they asked her what she ate, and then my wife said, well, really all she likes is really bacon and something sweet. She likes, sweet stuff. And so the lady goes, well, that's, in older people, you see that they do lose their taste buds, and sweet is one of the things they can still retain.
They can still taste. Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so she said very common with older people. So I didn't know that.
So I said preserve, right? That's why the first thing in the introduction, I was at the financial seminar, and when they asked how many people have health insurance, about half of the room or less have health insurance. But when this guy present his program about $10,000 asset protection, 99% of people bought that program.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But they didn't have health insurance. Wow. So this is the sad part about what Jack Ma was saying, that if you put money and health in front of people, they're likely going to tend to choose money.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
Fine. How are you, Roy? Good to see you.
That's good to see you, man. How's everything in Chicago? I mean, not Chicago, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Both places. Both places are good. Thank you.
Good.
Nice warm weather for a change.
Good.
You're warm too, aren't you?
Well, I don't know if you guys ever met Doc before.
I haven't met them. I met the gentleman with the cash flow hat on.
Okay, all right. So Maggie Pereton, she is a coach for female entrepreneurs.
Very good.
And Dr. Solomon is a pediatrician and not health coach. What would you say?
Lifestyle expert.
Lifestyle expert. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
So Doc is a teacher. He's done so much. Doc, go ahead. I can't remember all the stuff you've done.
Well, I graduated from kindergarten. So that's the beginning. No, I did well. The main thing I was in education my whole life, from 40 years. I taught everything from first grade to university, graduate students. And the most difficult was first grade. The most fun was first grade too. But also a handwriting analyst. I was in radio Chicago for 18 years, which was a lot of fun to play around with. And I do magic on the side. So
Yeah.
I keep out of mischief. I'm currently in a nursing home in hospice, but I'm driving them nuts because I was supposed to be 3 to 6 months, and it's now just about 2 years. This month will be 2 years, so I'm glad for that. But otherwise, things going well, and always good to see everybody here. And I know Roy and LaurieAnn have a great podcast, and I've watched it many times, so it's always fun to see them. They're
Yeah.
always upbeat. That's what I like. Always
If-
upbeat.
If you guys ever get a chance, we did an interview with Doc. Y'all need to go back and watch it. 'Cause it's really very interesting. It was a good one. All you guys were good interviews, but Doc, his experience and things he's done, it's pretty amazing. I'm kind of in awe of things he's accomplished in his
Well,
life.
it's all be at the right spot at the right time, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it for a lot of people.
Yes, it does. It really does. And opening the door, not just standing by it, but you got to open the door too.
Yeah.
And take that step, which sometimes is a difficult step to take.
That fear of failure, fear
Right.
of the unknown.
Right. Fear of the unknown.
What if? What if?
Yeah, always a big what if. Oh, there's LaurieAnn. Hi, LaurieAnn.
Yeah, I think her computer went
Oh,
down.
let's go. There she is. There.
Hey, look who's with us.
No voice.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
You're muted.
We
You're
can't
muted.
hear you.
I'm muted.
There
we
you go. There you
That's
go.
probably a good thing, right? Don't you wish it would just stay that way? Hey, Doc, nice you could make it.
All right, glad to be here. Glad to be here.
And have you met everyone, Doc?
Sure have. We just introduced ourselves, so that was real nice. Roy did a good job of that.
Always.
Yep.
So, I was just going to ask, Maggie, did you tell Dr. Needy about your group? It might be worthwhile having her as a-
No, I didn't. Yeah, I do have a Facebook group for women entrepreneurs. So, Dr. Needy, if you want to join us, that'd be great.
Yeah, Dr. Needy, you should join up.
Well, yeah, sure. Send me the link or the
Yeah.
or something.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you in the US?
The group is international. I'm in Canada, so I'm almost neighbors with LaurieAnn. I live in the metropolitan Toronto area as well, but on
she's
the
got
other
that-
side.
She has that Canadian accent, can't you tell?
Yeah, very.
Canadian, eh?
But
Hey,
my group
hey.
is international. I have ladies from all over the world.
I'm from Thailand originally, so
Oh,
I
are
have
you?
accent
Oh.
too.
Yeah, my brother's wife from Thailand. She's great
Oh.
stories about Thailand. It really is a nice place, isn't it?
It's a beautiful place.
Yes. The things
Land
she
of
tells us.
smile.
I think we're kind of narrow-minded here in the States. We kind of think, oh, Thailand, that's, in the sticks. But boy, when he talked, you're way ahead of us in many things.
Well, we're good at public health. That they
Good.
control COVID much better.
Good. But yeah, I recognize your dialect right away when you started talking. I said, oh, that sounds just like Mike's wife.
Oh, really? Yeah, I went to medical school in Thailand,
Oh, you did? Very good.
but I trained here in the States.
So, Doc, when's your book going to be done?
Well,
You're talking to me? Doc David, you writing a book
No,
too?
Doc and Doc. Dr. and Doc.
He's written several.
Yes.
they're really, well, right now the proofreader is finishing up with it. Like I told you, my computer crashed the other day and I thought I lost 2 major files. I thought I lost the first half of the book and the back cover, but she had happened to save both of those. So I got that. So she'll be finished in a couple days, and then it goes to the layout people to lay it out. And I imagine about a month, month and a half, it'll be ready.
Yeah.
It's kind of a narrow-minded book. That was a good word to use. Narrow focus group for handwriting analysts. It's called graphotherapy, a way to do therapy, but through handwriting by changing certain letters and certain strokes and the way you write certain things. Because there's almost nothing written on it at all. So I thought, well, we got to write something so people know how to do it.
Yeah.
I love it because that's what I like to use as well when I talk to people and help them saying, you know, this might be something that we did the signature, didn't we, Dr. Needy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
LaurieAnn helped me a lot. She's so very kind and
That's
generous.
the signature is a fun thing to do. You get a lot out of it. It's
Yeah.
amazing how just your signature makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was fun.
Well, I do have to say that handwriting analysts, analyzing
Analyst.
handwriting works because Laurie did mine and my wife's, and she figured out that we were compatible. Which
Wow.
Roy likes this.
I thought that was good because in June we'll be married for 50 years.
Oh.
I was going to say, yeah, if you weren't, we better check.
Now,
We
so now
better check it over.
the new contender. I have to send handwriting to LaurieAnn to analyze.
Better late than never, right, Roy?
Yeah.
Roy,
Just-
are there,
I'm glad I found that out.
Roy, are there a lot of similarities or a lot of differences, or what's the difference between you and your wife? Would you say? Is it mostly differences or similarities?
I would say more similarities than differences.
Interesting.
Yeah, their characters were very, like, if you look at, you know, where they stand on the views and that, we're very, very much alike. So that, and their characteristics of the alikeness make them compatible, because you can have alike people and they want to rip their heads off each other. you
Yep.
know, like if
My
you got the
wife's
two
very-
alphas.
She's very analytical, very laid back, and I'm kind of shy. I'm more outgoing, you know.
Yeah, see, those are the things that are a good balance. You don't want too shy people or too outgoing people. It's best to have the balance. Some things you want similar, and some things you definitely want
Yeah.
opposites. If you're not opposites, but alternatives, if you can.
For sure. Yeah, I always said you can't have two alphas. It rarely works if you got two alphas, because they
Oh.
both want the limelight, or they both want the attention, or they both want to be at the forefront of something. And if you've got one alpha that's a little bit less than the other one, the strong alpha will just try and take over the other one and just like.
I learned that when I started managing people. You can't put two leaders together. You can't put two followers together.
Right. It really doesn't work.
Nothing gets done.
Right.
I learned that early on in my career.
I like the followers. I have this image of me. No, you do it. No, you do it. What would you do? I don't know. What would you do?
Yeah, that's it. And then the two leaders, well, I think we ought to do it this way. No, I think we ought to do it this way. No, we ought to do this way, you know, so nothing gets done. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's often the way it is.
And right, give and take.
This is great. I really appreciate everyone showing up today. And again, it's going to be next month. It's going to be the same date, because of course we have the 28 days in February. So it's going to be March 28th, 3 p.m.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's kind of fun, and just come with what's new, what's fun. We started this off before the recording talking about Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Mhm.
So you missed that part, Doc. Doc and Doctor, you both missed that.
Yeah. About the new gender neutral.
Right. Charles is going to be on the line a little while, Laurie.
Charles?
Charles, yes.
Yeah.
He's
Charles, by the way, yeah.
he's
go
got
ahead.
he's got a late run. Then he'll stop in.
Yeah, he tried to call me while we were doing this, so I have to call him
Oh,
back.
did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But just for you guys that don't know Charles, when we were getting we had Doc helped us with our 501 master's certification. He was like our leader in there. There were about, there were 3 of us taking the course, the overview, because literally there is a stack of papers like this, and it is, you know, self-teaching, but we needed some guidance. So Doc helped us. Anyway, Charles and I were sitting there going, I called him up and said, we got to get this done. So that's where, you know, accountability, we became accountability partners. We were bugging each other. I'd call him, he'd call me back. If he didn't hear from me, you know, and so we got it done. We graduated the same, basically the same week, right?
Yeah, when Bart put together that program, so we all did it together, that was, I think, the best thing. Because it worked like a cohort. If any of you've been in a cohort, you know, where there's like, everybody works together. And so you're kind of dependent on everybody else. If you fail, not fail, but if you don't get your job done, then somebody else gets suffered for it. So it kind of keeps you on your toes to keep, and also there's a goal. Well, I got this much done, as opposed to I'll never get this done. And then finally you get it done. I got that much done. Then the next step, I got that. So we took a month of 2 chapters a month. We got through it that way. We did it in 1 year, which was remarkable too. But we stuck to it. And we just focused on each chapter each month, the 2 chapters each month, and we all plowed through it together.
And I think it took Charles and I, it was in September, and we finished it, in July, I guess, August,
Yes.
for a couple of months. But literally there was a competition. He would say, oh, I'm on this chapter now. And I'm going, what? How'd you get that far? And he goes, oh, but he hadn't done a couple of chapters before. But that competition was healthy, because I'm going, no, I got to catch up to you, you know? So, oh yeah, it was really great. Really great team to work with. So Charles is wonderful. So that's who we're talking about.
It was a lot of work, though, a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Worth it, though. Really enjoyed it. So,
I'm kind of sorry there's an exam, but that's the way it has to be.
that's the worst part. Who here likes taking exams? I can go
Nobody.
through a course all the way to the end, and that final exam is what can screw me up totally.
Didn't you also publish a book, LaurieAnn? Didn't you publish a book recently?
Yes.
Congratulations as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
Have you got
makeup
it
not
there?
required.
Do you have it there?
Yeah. I
love the
do.
title. I love the title, Makeup Not Required.
Yeah. And I was telling Doc too, that's my nephew, that's my sister, and that's my daughter. My daughter took the picture.
That's beautiful.
And there is handwriting in this. I offer that anyone who sends it in, they've got just a short handwriting report, but gives them enough. So that's offered in this. Ooh, you get bonuses.
How can we get it? How can we get the book?
Did you not get yours? I mailed you one.
I didn't get it.
Okay, I'll have
I
to.
thought I bought it, but I can't remember. It's been a while. I'm so busy.
Yeah, no, because I had all my orders go out. So, okay, I'll send you another one. That's fine. I've got some copies here. I'll get you another one sent out.
I bought it, right? I thought
Yeah,
I
you did. You were one of the first to buy it. So
yeah, because I couldn't remember. Did I buy it? But I didn't remember getting it.
yeah, because I had 6 of them and I sent them all out at the same time. I know, Doc, you got yours, and Roy, you got yours. Yeah, it's weird why you didn't get it. Okay, I'll reset. I'll send another one. No worries. So
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. Weird enough. I don't know. The post is weird. I sent this wonderful little letter out to Sumit, who's my friend in India, and it came back all scribbled on and returned to sender. And he checked the address. He said, he calls me mom. He goes, Mom, he says, it's the right address. I don't know why they sent it back.
Because
I said,
they're
maybe it was
using,
my purple writing.
they really seem to be using this COVID as an excuse. Now, I used to mail my friends and relatives back in Chicago. It would take 2 days to get there. Now it's a week, week and a half, and sometimes you don't even get it. I just think they're just got so lazy with all this. Everybody's using it for a lot of different reasons. Now, there's no reason for that slow up in the mail like that.
Yeah, my husband, it took somebody sent him like a little thing from Ireland, 2 months from Ireland to Canada, a little like very small package, 2 months. It was sent
Packages are,
mid-December.
everything Bart's sending as packages are taking 2, 3, 4 months to get there.
Crazy.
Yeah, anything bigger than an envelope. is
Yeah.
considered a package.
Mhm.
And it's just terrible. It's just, it's not worth the price. I mean, you could get on a plane and fly it there and get it there and back.
But this is a book, you know, it shouldn't take that long. But
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't. It's media
been
mail.
months, right? It's been a while. I forgot about it already.
Yeah, no, it may have gotten lost. Who knows? That could have been the case too. I'll just resend it. No worries. Because I was
Yeah,
so
you-
excited because I did all the orders and I'm thinking, yay, because I always print out the orders. And I thought, good, that's done. But then you didn't get it. And I was wondering too, because I know, I got yours. And then I thought, well, maybe you got it. And I don't know. Anyhow, it's no big deal. I will send you another one.
Yeah, I would send LaurieAnn a card. It would take 2 weeks to get there.
Yeah.
And so I thought, oh crap, I was gonna send her a package for Christmas. I told my wife, man, I could get this stuff sent because it took 2 weeks just to get a letter there. It was in December. And oh man, I was thinking she's not gonna get it till probably after the first year, but you did get it before Christmas, didn't you, LaurieAnn?
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
totally.
and you sent me a card. We're in the United States, Roy, and it took 10 days to get here.
Yeah, that's
Remember we talked about that some time ago?
Oh my goodness.
crazy.
Yeah, you missed that, Doc, because you're in Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
And Aaron, you are too.
Mhm.
And we had
you-
this, Aaron posted a wonderful thing about, Texas, this Wisconsin talking to Texas during the snowfall. I told the TikTok, I told him to send it to Roy.
Oh, yeah, good idea. Where are you in Wisconsin, Aaron?
New London, central Wisconsin by Appleton.
Oh, sure. I love Appleton.
Good place.
That's a nice area. My favorite spot near there was Fond du Lac. Remember, you know Fond du Lac, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a neat restaurant there called the Stretch Inn that we used to go up to North Michigan all the time. We always stop at the Stretch Inn. It's a big, fancy, not fancy, it's a trucker's restaurant. When you got hundreds of truckers, it's a darn good restaurant.
Yeah.
So it was always a fun
Absolutely.
place to stop. But since they moved the highway over, 41 over half a mile, there's nothing as far as business anymore. It's just a shame how where the traffic goes, the business goes.
That's true.
Wisconsin's a pretty so you're not far from Milwaukee either. Did you go up in Appleton?
Do I go up to Appleton?
Did you grow up? Did you grow up in Appleton? Did you grow up? Were you raised in Appleton?
No, I wasn't raised in Appleton.
Oh,
I was raised in Winneconne, a lot smaller. 2,500 people, I think, lived in Winneconne, and not a stoplight. There was one stoplight for the bridge, but now they tore that bridge down and made it taller so that the boats can get under it, so they don't need someone to control the bridge. And there was peed off people. There was people fish off the bridge all the time there, and a lot of people would have like 10 poles, and they would attach all the poles to the rod, even though on both sides of the bridge there's 2 signs that say cannot attach poles to rod. Everyone still did it every
they still
year.
do.
They didn't care. But people were mad. People were, we're not tearing down this bridge. You're not tearing down this bridge. And they pretty much turned the bridge into 2 little docks on each side. And then the middle part they kind of got rid of so boats can get through. So
Oh,
they tore down like half the bridge.
wow. Do you like the smaller town or the medium size or the larger town? If you had a choice.
I would, if I had a choice, I'd rather live larger. I'd rather live city area,
Like Milwaukee?
like Milwaukee, Green Bay, something like that, versus a little village. I go to my sister's house every so often, and her husband, well, no, her boyfriend, but they've been together for so long that they should be freaking married, but whatever. He is complete opposite of me. He'd rather be live in the mid skits of nowhere where you have to drive 20 miles just to get to a gas station. I'd rather be where I can get to it now, areas to walk and stuff.
Interesting.
Well, that's like living in Dallas. It's 24/7. Here. My parents lived down and they retired. They moved down to the lake, and they moved down and people said, okay, it's wintertime. The stores won't be open. you know, until these hours. Make sure your car's full of gas. I mean, all this stuff, you know, I'm like, and of course, when you're elderly, you're 30 minutes to the hospital,
Oh,
you know, and you're talking about 2-lane roads, windy. I mean, so they finally moved back up here because their health was, you know, they got tired of driving, you know, 3 or 4 times a week to the
Oh,
doctor,
yeah, yeah.
hour and a half each way, you know.
see, I like small town. I had, when I had my auto repair shop in a small town, but it was only 20 minutes down to Belleville, which is a decent sized city. And the town itself, it was like a kilometer to get in to get whatever you wanted. There was everything they had, including, you know, the necessary liquor store for the line. You know, it was like, and the grocery store. And so but I couldn't, I like the sort of close to the town, close to a city, but I would never want to be that 20 miles out, or like my sister wanted us to move that to my parents' cottage because my parents were thinking of selling it. And we're like, you're 10 kilometers in on a windy road, the winter time, the snow, you're not getting out.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I know I'm still fit, but I'm still 58 and I still could have a heart attack and I still possibly need that, you know, I'm getting there. And in 10 years, I might even need it more. So I thought, no, that's too far out. I don't like the too far out. I kind of like the in between. I like the in
It's
between.
amazing how we change over our lives, though. When I was younger, I wanted to be in a small town, all way off, like you said, 10 miles off the road. And now, if I did that, you'd panic all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
Doc and Aaron can probably relate to this. Back many years ago, I was working in Lincoln, Nebraska, and well, I was actually 30 miles out in Crete, but Lincoln, everybody knows Lincoln. Okay, so we're working on this job, and in town, everything closed at 6 o'clock in the evening, except on Thursday, the grocery store, whatever it was open till 8.
It was a big deal.
And then every restaurant had a bar in it, and like on Friday and Saturday they had polka band there, you know, and that's just so different because we have restaurants, we have bars. They're not really together. Like you have like a neighborhood bar probably where y'all grew up, you know, like in Chicago. And I was in Wisconsin, but I can't remember the name of the city. My son was playing soccer, but we went to eat. There was the bar was there, you know, and they had a sign up, such and such polka band was going to be there on, you know, on the weekend, you know. But that's a lot different than it is here in Texas.
Yeah. Well, that's what actually is funny because here in Milton, the big one, the popular one is like the bar and the restaurant type of thing. But we have now a lot more restaurants without the party. But the Ivy's been here forever. And everyone knows it's got the patio. That's like the Cheers of Milton. I kind of like the Cheers. I like those kind of places. I mean, I know Sterling had one, and when I lived in Tweed, it had one, the Tweed's Mirror, that's been around since the 1800s. That's where they last saw Elvis, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Tweed's Mirror, Ontario. If you look at it, or Tweed, Ontario. Some people take the T off and call it Weed, Ontario.
But I think in the upper Midwest over to the East Coast, they tend to have like the neighborhood bar where all the people in the neighborhood go together.
Everybody knows your name. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like right down the street or whatever, you know.
That could be good and bad. There's a lot of good over that. There's a lot of bad over that too. Because you do one wrong thing and it's all over the nation, all over the town.
Absolutely.
But on the other side, like where I lived, I had a lady every morning, I got her newspaper. One morning I was real sick and didn't get it. Well, she's pounding on the door at 9:30. You know, what's wrong? What's wrong? So the little town is nice in that they know your patterns and what's going on. But on the other side of the coin, you know, it's too nosy sometimes.
Yeah, watch out who you go out with and watch out how you don't make too much of a fool of yourself. I thought you were going to say she knocked on your door because she was pissed off at you for missing getting her newspaper.
Oh. What's a newspaper?
Hey, we still get the newspaper.
Yeah.
My wife loves to read the paper. She likes to do all the.
Yeah, I like to hold on to it and read it.
Yeah.
I do. let's take a poll here. Who prefers online reading, newspaper and books, to holding it in their hands? So we're all holding in your hands. All of us. Yeah, I agree. Except for Aaron. Aaron kind of.
He's a young whippersnapper. He likes it.
Well, if you would have said online reading, I wouldn't have raised my hand there neither, because it's very hard for me to read a book. I'm actually thinking about getting Audible for.
Audible is great.
To do
That's
more.
better, yes. Because I can't read on a machine either. I just really can't.
I'm either reading a regular book or Audible. I can on the screen, like I think we spend a lot of time on the screen, like socializing and Facebook and doing our like business, whatever work, that like if I had to on top of it read the book.
See, I like the physical book, but I like the hardbound edition. I don't really care for paperback. I like the
I like paperback too. I can mark it up and do things.
My wife loves paperback. Everything she reads is paperback, and I'm all hardcover.
I'll do both as long as I can scribble in it. And some people go, oh my goodness, how can you do that? You're defacing the book. I'm going, no, I'm actually enjoying it and participating in the whole thing. I was going to ask Aaron, so you said you have difficulties reading, right?
Yeah, like I know, like when I'm reading something, it's like I know that like lately there's been times when I read something to my wife or whatever, like a poster, or I read a post that she shows me, and I see a word and I try to pronounce it, and it's kind of like with me and Big Daddy with hip hop anonymous, like I try to pronounce the damn words, and sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I'm not horrible, there's worse than I am for sure. And then even if I can read the book, it's hard for me to get past page 8. For some reason, when I get to page 8, I put down the book and I don't pick it up again. And I bought 2 books recently, last couple months, and I only got through maybe page 10 of one of them. And like I said, both those books are on Audible, so I'm looking more towards it, and I'm thinking because what I thought with Audible was and I'm not 100% on this, that they say that you get to keep 1 credit every month, when you pay for it, unless you buy the premier one, you can keep 2, but I don't know how you keep it, if you keep it on their platform or if you have to have memory or whatever. I thought that couldn't keep it at all.
Well, how it works is that with your subscription, I have regular Audible subscription, you get a credit. And then, so you can use it for a book, and then you can just, have 1 credit a month, so 1 book a month, or you can buy more credits. So if you want more book a month than that, you can buy more credits, and like they have deals for 3 at a time, and then you keep them as long as you use them. Like so you don't lose the credit if you don't use it that month or whatever, right? So you can accumulate credits.
Okay. So.
And most books are really 1 credit, like unless I haven't rarely ever come across a book where you need 2 credits for it.
That's cool.
Okay, so then if I like, let's just say I get it, like I'm not going to because I have other shit I need to do today. But if I get it today and I do 1 today, that's the only book that I can listen to for the whole month.
Yes, unless you buy more credits.
Yeah.
Now they have some free stuff, but it's not like I've listened to. So every month you get a choice of certain free things, certain free books and so on within it. I listen to some, but it's not usually what I want.
Yeah. Which makes
so there've been months when I bought credits and then caught up, but lately because I have a lot going on, I'm accumulating credits. I can't keep up with the reading because I bought some courses and I'm doing this and that and reading other books. But there've been months when I bought credits, and now I'm in the situation when I'm kind of accumulating a bit credits.
Why I was asking, sorry, Doc, Aaron, I was actually going to say why I was asking Aaron is because Doc, you had issues with reading as well, and later on found out.
Well, I was going to ask you, are you dyslexic? Do you have trouble reading itself?
I don't know if I'm
Dyslexic. That's hard to say. Dyslexic.
Yes, just like that one. I can't think of the state offhand, but there's a state that my wife makes fun of me every time I say it. But anyway, I don't know if I'm dyslexic, but
Sometime would you send me some of your handwriting?
sure.
Would you be willing to do that?
Like through snail mail?
Either way.
Here, we'll put, do you want to, I can type your email in the chat.
Yeah,
Doc.
do that. Yeah. And I'll
And
just
which
see if
one do you want?
Doc Grayson is probably the easiest.
Yeah, just do whatever.
Doc Grayson at,
And just sometimes you write, so don't try to write anything fancy. Just sometimes you scribble something down. Not scribble like a mess scribble, but when you're taking notes or doing something, or just, it doesn't have to be a full page, just a couple lines, a paragraph or two.
I know my wife, she says she has better handwriting, and I know that her brother, I don't know what was up with the teacher, but one of her brother's teachers back in the day said that he was not writing a certain letter the correct way, and he needed to write it this way or whatever the hell it was, but I know I've compared my ways of writing a letter and my wife's ways of writing letters, and I do it differently, and I don't know, I think my writing looks good, but I write it.
I'm sure it's better than mine. Mine is such
but that's the fun.
Aaron, were you taught to write in school? Did you have writing lessons?
Was I taught
You
to
were in
write?
school?
Yeah, were you taught? Yeah.
Yeah, I was taught to write in school. I didn't. I'm not young enough to have tablets and stuff. We had cursive, all that stuff when I went to school. So
Hey, Aaron, you talk about having trouble pronouncing words. I can remember I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and we were reading aloud in class, and everybody, the guy in front of me read a paragraph, and I'd read the next paragraph, and the guy behind me would read the next. So I'm reading, and I say Penelope, and everybody in class breaks out laughing. I'm like, it was Penelope, but I pronounced it Penelope. And I was scarred from then on. But anyway, I always remember that.
yeah.
Something, yeah. Mine was, but I can't even figure out which one's the right one. Spatula or spatula? I think it was spatula I used to say, because my mother's French. There were a few things I said in English that were embarrassing because my mother's French. When I spoke English, they go, "That's not the way you say it."
What do you mean embarrassing? I mispronounce words all the time. Between me and my husband with different accents, we're just correcting, or we even have now our kids correcting. Oh, Mom, you don't say it that way. You say it that way.
We used to say open the light and close the light instead of turn on, turn off, because in French, it's open and closed. So, Doc, I put up there, Doc Grayson at AOL.com. Is that the one? Okay, perfect. And just to make sure, Maggie, you did answer Dr. Needy. She was asking about your food name. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Double check.
I have a question. If Doc could check my handwriting, I would love to know what's going on with my handwriting.
What was there's a lot of talking going on. What was the question?
Yeah.
Would you mind?
No, if you would do her handwriting as well.
Oh, I do it. Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I will send you something.
Really, it's not about the handwriting itself. It doesn't matter how ugly or pretty it is. That's
Right.
not what we're
Makes
looking
no
at. With
difference.
Doc and I, we probably don't even read what the heck you even wrote half the time because we're looking more at the shape of the letters. So, right.
So
I mean, there's sometimes it's at the very end. I sit there and go, maybe I should read the content to see if they had something to say. Because sometimes they actually give me a message in the writing, but that's not the first thing I do. The first thing I do is look at the letters.
I'm curious actually, because so handwriting, because for example, when I look at myself, when we learned, cursive at school and so on, and it was much nicer in primary school, but then as I went to high school and university, when we had to take a lot of notes from professors teaching, and I wanted to catch up with everybody, my handwriting was terrible. Like I was really good at taking notes. I could catch everything, but few people could read it. So I had like a couple of friends who would always take my notes because they knew they were good, but anybody else, they couldn't read it. So it's curious, like, does it, like when you write the letters, like it must have changed, you know, the way I used to write and now I'm writing just because of, you know, I guess the speed that I picked up.
That's pretty normal in university too, when you're going through it and the professors are talking so fast, you learn to have your own short form of writing. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay, well, we know gen means general, we know this means that. Just yeah, yeah, too funny. So, all right, so
You know,
this was great.
the interesting thing with since I deal with children, that the new generation, there was some baby that born during this time that never meet many people, and the kid that never go to regular school that went straight to Zoom school or Google Meet school. So that's the next generation of people that gonna be in the society.
Right.
And now New York Police Department have the dog robots
Really?
to use, and then they're
Oh,
using robot to serve food at some airport now.
oh my goodness.
So
Look at
we
that.
going into the AI just like in the movie. I think we in the transition time that now people are afraid of each other. We don't even see each other's face. You know, we cover
I
2/3
know
of
the
our
mask.
face. We only saw the eyes and the eyebrow. And yeah, and we wear shield pretty much. We only see a little bit of the hair. That's it.
Yeah,
Well, I always
can't-
say
you
though,
can't
thank
see
goodness you can see the eyes, right?
yeah, but you can't see the expression. You can't see the
You
smile.
can't see the expression.
You
Yeah,
can in the eyes though, at least. When
and then
someone's
with the face
smiling, you can tell
shield,
they're
with the face
smiling with their
shield,
eyes.
it's like, yeah, you don't really see much of anything except little forehead and hair.
Except for
So
the people who wear the ones that are see-through transparent. There are some people who wear those.
Well, I was surprised, when all the years when people say, well, they rob a bank with a mask on. I figure, well, that doesn't hide you much. Now I see it really does. We have nurses. I've got nurses. I'm in a nursing home, but nurses come in all the time, and it's hard to tell who's who because it really does hide their.
can't tell.
And
Yeah.
and once in a while you'll see them without. I don't know who you are. I mean, a
What
totally different person.
what I feel the most disturbing thing is that people are afraid of each other. I got, lady yell at me at the post office. Could she think I was too close to her?
Oh,
I have
that's
a big
crazy.
box in
We're
front of
gonna-
me. Like it's not quite 6 feet or something. And it was like, okay, but at the line, at the anywhere that you were in line,
Yeah,
like
it's
one in
it's
front
too
of me,
scary.
reached, I'm not going too close to them.
It's
Yeah,
too carried away. It's way too carried away. They take everything to an extreme.
I know.
But
And
but
so,
the thing is, like when a woman covers up hers, because all 99% of women have beautiful smiles. Almost every woman has a beautiful smile, and you don't see that.
Not true.
That's right.
You know, guys not so much, but most women, their smiles are beautiful, and you don't see it.
And you walk into a restaurant and you can smell all the things cooking. Well, tell me that those masks are protecting you from all those germs. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for an instant.
I have a friend, Kevin, Strange Kevin, Roy, that I talk about. He wrote a book and it is so anti-COVID, like saying it's all a lie, blah, blah, blah. But he has in a comparison, it's on Amazon. I can't remember what it's called. I should probably, if I find it, I'll send it to you guys like for a link. But he's talking about the mask and the size of COVID versus the size of the spaces between the fabric and what the odds are of if you sneeze of it not going through are pathetic. He said, and he equates it to like, I don't know, weird things like the bus versus the Godzilla type of thing. All sorts of these strange comparisons. But yeah, I would say no, that the mask really is just
They don't know much of anything.
yeah,
And
and
we have
Not
to be
much of anything.
careful. I'm
and
not
you have
saying you just
people,
throw it to the wind, but you have
No.
to be, you have to have a little common sense with things too.
there were people that hardly leave their house for the past year.
I know people are that way. They will
Yep,
not leave
I
their
do
house.
too.
Yes.
I do too.
I haven't left it much.
But
Well,
that's,
luckily I have a nice outside, so I can go out. But to go out, I don't, unless I have to shop and the odd time go see my parents to see how they're doing. I don't go out.
but it's not because you're afraid to go out. You choose not to go out.
Yeah, it was at the
Yes.
beginning though. I did have anxiety about going out, and just even seeing people with the masks and even going to a grocery store and seeing the groceries gone, all of that would cause me anxiety.
Mhm.
But I'm okay now with it though. I went to get eggs and there weren't any. I just got pissed off instead of anxious. That's so I'm healing.
No, but I think it's hard on mental health for
It
adults
is.
and kids alike.
Yes,
In
yes.
Yeah, in Canada, the government has it. They're subsidizing mental health, and if you need to see a therapist or whatever, it's all subsidized. They're paying
Well-
for a 12-week program. I don't know how long that's going to go on for, but they felt that they were calling it the second wave of COVID is the mental health issue. So they're
I
And it
would
seems like it
believe
may
that.
be prolonging, but you're luckier than us in the US. We have no such program, and
Yeah,
they
no,
didn't
we're very
raise
lucky.
mental health issues at all, right, Roy? They
Exactly.
never even mentioned that we well, we have the issues.
No.
but they're very well aware of it up here, and so they're
Yeah.
doing that. And
Just
there was
wear-
because
just
of the
wear your
increase
7
in
mask when you go out,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
But there was the increase in suicide, there was the increase in all of this, and the government said we got to do something about it. So I'm impressed. Granted, it's our tax dollars paying for it, remember, and our taxes are just going to keep going up. But in the interim, it's necessary for some
Nobody
people.
mentioned it about that here. I know there's increased incidence of ER visit in 17 to 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then definitely no surprise, right? More suicide and also business. A lot of smaller business couldn't survive this, and so only big businesses now that still persist and getting bigger and richer.
Yes,
And
yes.
then the middle one, they all gone.
Life savings have
mom and
gone down
pop.
the tube. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
All right.
So on a happy note,
hopefully it get better. When they say prolonging, it's just not fun.
No, let's just hope this. I mean, I know that a year ago we were saying let's hope that this ends pretty soon. It started around this time last year, but things could only get better, right? And in regards to all those robot things, I'm sitting here going, I'm 58. I don't know if I'll see all of that come in, and I don't know that I'm going to miss it if I don't.
what's that?
How are you doing?
Good thing.
You can take job from people though. That's one thing.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
yes, yes.
That's
But people will find other ways. They always do. Look at what happened with, with this whole COVID and businesses closing down. There's some people that made a killing off of it. It's just about,
Yes, ingenious people, you take
Yeah.
to advantage. There's a reason for everything, and
yeah.
I wish I had that brain power to think of something. I wish I invested in mass 2 years ago, and I'd be rolling in money.
Mass and Bitcoin,
Yeah, bitcoins. Yeah.
like Aaron expertise.
We'll bring you supper in a while.
Whip and buggy and the horse. I just love that. I love that Samsung used to be a rice company, and now look at them today. It's all about switching over.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so. Okay, well, are we all set?
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for showing up. That was fun.
Yeah, thank you all. Thanks everybody for coming. We really do appreciate it. It's been a good time visiting with everybody and catching up.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Take
you very
care.
much.
Hope to see you next month. I don't know that we're
Thank you.
going to go this long. We've usually about an hour to, an hour and a half, but I'm really glad that we stayed that long. Aaron, thanks, and Maggie
you.
for.
Thank you,
Thank
Maggie.
you,
I
everybody.
join you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome.
And
Bye.
talk soon.
Everyone.